Hello my friend and welcome to this month's Good News episode as we take a look at what's gone right over the last month. If you're new here, I'm Sam and I make videos highlighting good news and solutions to some of the world's biggest problems. And it was also my birthday this week. I didn't have a birthday party, but instead we can treat this as one big digital party celebrating people doing good in the world. If you've been here before, it's great to see you again, and if you've been enjoying these roundups, tap that like button to help spread some goodness on social media and help fight back against the algorithms that seem to throw doom and despair at us constantly. So let's get into it. Here's some good news from November that you might have missed. 30 new deep-sea species have been discovered in one of the most remote parts of the planet, the Southern Ocean. Including a carnivorous deathball sponge covered in tiny hooks that trap prey. The discoveries were made during two research expeditions led by the Nippon Foundation Necton Ocean Census and Schmidt Ocean Institute, using advanced ROV technology to explore volcanic calderas, hydrothermal vents, and previously unexplored seabed around the South Sandwich Islands. The team collected nearly 2,000 specimens and captured the first confirmed footage of a juvenile colossal squid. Other finds include new species of scale worms, sea stars, crustaceans, and rare mollusks adapted to extreme volcanic environments. With only 30% of samples assessed so far, these discoveries provide crucial baseline data for understanding ocean biodiversity and protecting these fragile ecosystems as climate change accelerates. There was good news for the most endangered marine mammal in the world, the vaquita, which is only found in Mexico's Gulf of California. As 7 to 10 of them were spotted in the most recent survey, and the best news of all is that they had babies with them, giving hope that if we continue to protect them, their population could bounce back. This is a result of amazing work by Sea Shepherd, the Mexican Navy, and CONAMP, who consistently remove illegal fishing nets and provide a safe habitat for vaquitas. And there was another win for the ocean this month, once again thanks to Sea Shepherd. Holland & Barrett became the first major UK retailer to phase out all krill products, marking a huge win for protecting Antarctic wildlife. The health and wellness chain, which operates over 1,000 stores across 19 countries, will completely exit the krill category by April 2026, after working closely with Sea Shepherd. They're guiding customers towards ocean-friendly alternatives that deliver the same health benefits without harming marine life. And this really matters, because krill are the foundation of Antarctica's entire ecosystem, sustaining whales, penguins, seals, and countless other species, while also playing a vital role in absorbing carbon and regulating our climate. Yet, massive krill super trawlers are threatening this fragile balance, scooping up these tiny creatures to feed a booming global market for supplements. Without krill, the Antarctic ecosystem would collapse, so let's hope other stores follow in phasing krill out soon. In one last good news story for the ocean, let's head to the Seychelles, where I'm going to pass the mic to Friends of Aldabra, who are helping protect one of the most precious ecosystems on the planet.
Sam, I'm Vic from Friends of Aldabra, a youth-led advocacy campaign working to stop a luxury hotel development from threatening Aldabra Atoll, a UNESCO World Heritage Site in the Seychelles. Aldabra is one of the last places of its kind, one of the last untouched places in the world where life thrives everywhere and humans feel tiny and irrelevant. For a year, we've been campaigning tirelessly to stop this development. The issue became a defining topic in the Seychelles national elections, and just a few weeks ago, the newly elected president announced that he would stop the hotel development and launch an investigation. Incredible win for the planet and a powerful reminder of what determined communities can achieve when they unite together for what matters. The fight isn't over. Now we have to keep our eyes on Assumption and Aldabra to make sure that these islands are protected forever.
These next couple of stories are about some health breakthroughs that went under the radar this month. Thanks to an implant fitted at the back of the eye, a group of 5 blind patients are now able to see again. The procedure was carried out in Moorfields Eye Hospital in London to treat an advanced form of macular degeneration known as geographic atrophy. The technology works by inserting a 2mm super thin microchip under the retina. Patients then wear glasses with a built-in camera that transmits video to the microchip, which passes on the picture to the optic nerve. For people like 70-year-old Sheila Irvine, who'd been registered as medically blind, it could be entirely life-changing. Thanks to the procedure, Sheila has been able to read and do crossword puzzles again. The treatment offers hope to the roughly 250,000 people across the UK who suffer from the condition, and more than 5 million people globally. It's the first time an implant has been used to give patients meaningful vision, and it could be used to treat other visual impairments too. In other health news, scientists have found that the human heart has the ability to repair itself. A naturally occurring gene called cyclin A2, which turns off after birth in humans, can actually be reactivated to make new functioning heart cells and help the heart repair itself from injury, including a heart attack or heart failure. This breakthrough, coming out of the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai in New York, could lead to new techniques to repair damaged hearts as an alternative to heart transplants or implanted cardiac devices. From protecting sensitive organs to protecting sensitive ecosystems, this next story takes us to Mexico. Women in Mexico are protecting these ancient Aztec floating farms, shielding them from urban expansion, environmental degradation, and pollution. The islands, called Chinampas, were made thousands of years ago in a shallow lake. They're some of the most productive farmland on the planet, and also serve as an important habitat for native species like the axolotl and wetland birds. Teresa de Miguel with the Associated Press visited Yasmin Ordóñez, one of a growing number of women who have bought Chinampas in order to cultivate sustainable food and connect with their ancestors. Together with other women, she's organised community initiatives and created a cooperative-style farming structure which ensures unique traditional farming can continue in this ecologically important area. The Chinampas used to span the entire valley of Mexico, which has mostly been replaced by Mexico City, and only 3% of the lake area now remains. Despite its small remaining size, estimates suggest that if it were to disappear, it could raise the temperature of the nearby capital by 2 degrees Celsius, highlighting just how important protecting this ecosystem is. This month I headed to the Black Country in England, which gets its name from the smoke of foundries and forges during the Industrial Revolution, where a grassroots initiative is helping to save local community football pitches.
Why are we here today? What's this all about?
So if you didn't know already, there's about 100,000 games all across the UK that get called off because of flooding and climate change. And so we're here to bring awareness to the solutions that can be put in place right now.
What are the solutions that have been put in place at this pitch here?
Well, so this pitch is actually going to be our blueprint. So we're up here at Hingley Fields, and if you didn't know already, over there, just over there, they've put in a nature-based solution, and that has taken down the amount of games that were cancelled from 36 games in 2023 and 2022 to 0 this year.
Wow.
So nature is a natural collector of water and carbon. So by placing nature-based solutions right next to the playing fields that we all love so much, we can actually save them. So people can play football, go with their dogs, walk with their families.
Save our streets! If you're watching this from the UK and have a local sports field that you know faces flooding or climate issues, the amazing team at Save Our Grassroots are giving away £100,000 in match funding to communities who need it the most. You can find out more and apply for it here. Now let's head to South Korea for our next story. Starting this month, South Korea will require all parking lots with more than 80 spaces, both new and existing, to install solar canopies and carports. The law, approved in late September by the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Energy, aims to expand renewable energy generation while creating construction and solar jobs. By turning underutilised parking spaces into local clean energy sources, the canopies will also protect vehicles from extreme weather and keep interiors cooler, reducing the energy needed for air conditioning when drivers return to their cars. The approach offers a blueprint for sun-rich regions worldwide, particularly in densely populated areas where available land for traditional solar farms is limited. In similar news, Australia is generating so much solar energy that it is starting offering it to people for free. Households in 3 states will soon have access to 3 free hours of power a day. The Solar Sharer offer, going live next year, is designed to encourage people to use more power in the middle of the day when solar energy is more abundant, and the goal is to extend this offer to other regions in 2027. And from sunny Australia to the sunny west coast of the USA, California also stepped up in moving away from fossil fuels. California cut off its last major coal supply this month as it stopped receiving power from the Intermountain Power Plant in Utah as it waves goodbye to coal. As recently as 2007, the US produced nearly half its energy from coal, which it reduced to just 16% in 2023. While only 2.2% of California's electricity came from coal in 2024, this symbolic gesture, alongside the state's huge investments in wind and solar power, shows that the US is still moving towards a more sustainable energy mix for the future. One thing you may not know about me is I was really into art. Here are some of my old pieces I did at secondary school. It was one of the things I consistently got good grades in and really enjoyed. But yeah, I wasn't taught that I could have a genuine job or career in the arts. But that's why this next story is one that I particularly love. Ireland made its basic income programme for artists permanent, supporting 2,000 creatives with €1,300 a month. The trial began in 2022 after many artists suffered financial difficulties due to cancellations of events and live performances. The pilot showed major cultural and economic benefits, so the government decided to expand the scheme and open it permanently to all kinds of artists, from literature to dance and music. In my last video, I asked if people would prefer longer good news videos or a mid-month video, so thank you to everyone that commented on that last video. And in 2026, I want to bring you more good news. These amazing people on the screen right now are part of the very reason we're watching this episode today. To be honest, I appreciate you just being here watching this video right now. I never thought in such a short time these good news episodes would reach so many people, and I'm just like stoked you're literally here spending time with me. I also understand that around Christmas, money is tight, you've got to be strategic with your money, and it's completely fine. But if you do have a couple of quid, a couple of dollars each month that you can dedicate to help me produce these videos, you can become a supporter over here on YouTube or join my Patreon, and it just helps me hire more people, invest more time in research, and bring more of these stories to you. So if you do want to do that, you can either click the join button down below, or I made this fancy QR code so you can simply scan it on your phone and join over on Patreon instead. I proper appreciate you, and thank you just for being here. Now back to the news, and if you're currently sharing a house with a lovable pet, you'll particularly enjoy this next story. England passed a new renters' rights law, giving tenants the legal right to have pets, a big win for rescue animals and keeping families together. This will decrease the burden on animal rescue shelters, who are often left with pets that couldn't move in with their owners. The law also includes a bunch of other rights to help give stability to tenants, including an end to no-fault evictions, limiting rent raises to once a year, and banning discrimination against tenants with children or receiving benefits. The UK has historically had some of the weakest protections for tenants compared to our European neighbours, and with house prices being so high, it left many with no choice but to rent insecure housing. So it's great to see some steps being taken to help make sure people have a higher level of protection. November was also the month COP30 took place, the big annual UN climate meeting where world leaders gather to agree on actions to tackle climate change, and then often don't actually take the action needed. This year it was hosted in Belém, Brazil, and whilst world leaders and countries certainly need to do better, there were some wins to talk about. The Tropical Forest Forever facility was announced to protect tropical forests, along with pledges supporting Indigenous peoples, local communities, and land rights. The facility has already mobilised over $5.5 billion in initial commitments, including $3 billion from Norway, $1 billion each from Brazil and Indonesia, and pledges from France, Portugal, the Netherlands, and others. And California and Brazil's Parastate signed an agreement to work much more closely on wildfire prevention and response, focusing on enhancing forest monitoring, identifying at-risk areas, and sharing research and expertise to help better protect their communities. And Colombia became the first country to declare its entire Amazon region off limits to large-scale mining and hydrocarbons. The decision protects nearly 500,000 square kilometers of the Colombian Amazon, reaffirming that for Colombia, life is above any extractive model. And an extra bit of good news coming out of Brazil this month is Brazil recorded its largest drop in emissions since 2009, falling by 16.7% last year, driven by a major crackdown on illegal deforestation in the Amazon. I've just got 2 more stories for you, and this one takes us to Florida. Flamingos are nesting in Florida for the first time in over 100 years, with one bird tracked from Florida to Mexico's breeding grounds, suggesting they may be returning for good. The species were wiped out in the late 1800s by the feather trade for women's fashion, and unlike other wading birds, their slow breeding habits make recovery difficult. Recent sightings and successful tracking suggest that Everglades restoration efforts are finally helping the species return. And last month, designer Stella McCartney actually unveiled the world's first plant-based feathers at Paris Fashion Week, proving that fashion no longer needs to rely on harming birds for their plumage. And for my final story, I want to take you with me down to London, where an amazing organisation is helping people get much more of one of life's most precious resources: time. Let me explain. So 60% of the world still hand washes clothes. That's over 5 billion people, and that task falls mainly on women and girls who spend up to 20 hours a week on laundry alone. But the Washing Machine Project are on a mission to change that. They've created the world's first flat packable manual washing machine that doesn't use electricity, needs half the water compared to hand washing, and can be put together using just 2 tools, an Allen key and a spanner. And most importantly, it saves people time.
This machine here cuts that time by 75%.
Wow.
You get 15 hours back per week. So we always like to ask, what would you do with an extra 15 hours? We've had some incredible stories of people now earning money off this through community laundrettes, people going to school, resting, spending more time with family. We've heard stories of refugees that have washed their clothes for the first time in probably a year using this machine.
And it's super simple to use. You scrub tough stains on the built-in washboard, turn the handle for 2 minutes while clothes spin inside, let it rest for 10 minutes, then spin again. 6 minutes of actual washing and your clothes are clean. They've brought their machine to remote, low-income and displaced communities around the world, helping over 46,000 people so far.
From orphanages and schools in Kenya to townships in South Africa, to refugee camps in places like Republic of Congo and Uganda, to low-income areas in India and Mexico, to even hospitals in places like Gaza, where we distributed machines as well.
By 2030, their goal is to reach 1 million people.
And how can the everyday person support the Washing Machine Project and help to get these into more communities around the world?
So we've been really humbled by all of the requests that we get for support. The best thing to do is go onto our website and give what you can, donate whatever you can to our foundation. And yeah, get in touch if you think there's a partnership that we should be working on, or if you know of someone that we should be working with to distribute more machines, we'd love to hear it. So yeah, just head on to thewashingmachineproject.org.
That's a wrap. Thank you so much for watching. And the only birthday present I asked for is just tapping that like and subscribe button if you've enjoyed this video. I'll see you the same place, same time next month, my friend. Bye.